This is Beyond with Heather Tesch, where we examine near-death experiences and life itself, hopefully making this life a little better. Merry Christmas, everyone. I hope you're having a fabulous day. I have a Christmas message for you from Pastor John Burke, along with a Christmas story, a beautiful Christmas story from Rev Bill McDonald.
Studying thousands of near-death experiences all around the globe, people consistently encounter this God of light and love. And I believe that this same God of light and love is what Christmas is all about. That they consistently say that this God is for us, not against us, loves us more than we can possibly imagine, and like a wonderful parent would do anything for us. And Christmas is the time when God says, I am with you, that I've come into your world, the messiness, the brokenness, and I want to be with you to walk you through to the other side. So I hope we can keep that in mind at Christmas, that God descended into our world, but not just 2,000 years ago. He's right there with you in your world today. No matter what you're going through, he loves you and he wants to walk you through it.
There's a part of me that this time of year, it's not just the typical Christmas. You have to realize that this is the time of year, to be exact, December 10th, when I asked my girlfriend to become my fiance, and we got engaged. But how that took place, and the atmosphere that took place, and the spirit of Christmas that it just took this thing to a different level. And even though I've been married now 54 years, and my wife's still this young person, I have to say that in case she watches this, she's still young and beautiful.
It's mandatory.
And but starting marriage off on the right foot is always important. And I always thought, when you ask somebody to get married, you want to have all the energy set up. You want everything lined up: the moon, the sun, Mars, Venus. When the moon lies with Aquarius and all that stuff, right? Everything's got to line up. So I was dating my wife in high school, and then we broke up. We met when we were 14, believe it or not, in high school. We were dating our senior year, and we broke up in 1964. She was going off to college, University of California, Berkeley, and I was going around the world doing surfing and then going in the Army and going to Vietnam. She went to Berkeley, I went to Vietnam. So we were in different worlds for a few years. Came back, and I always knew that, because I seen it in a vision when I was young, she's the one I'm going to marry, right? So I didn't worry about it. And she goes, I come back and I go, I'm back. And she goes, yeah, okay, fine. Where you been for 5 years, right? So, but I knew I was going to ask her to marry me. And I kept asking her, and she kept saying, no. She must have said no 10 times. And then I knew it was time, because I felt lucky. I go, nah, I'm going to go down. Actually said no the 10th time. I went down and bought a ring, it was a $500 wedding ring, which back in 1969 was an expensive ring, right?
Yes.
And I said, I'm going to keep it in my pocket. And every time I go visit her, if the energy and the atmosphere and God and Jesus and everybody, if everything's lined up, when the magic happens, I'm going to ask her, right? I was looking for the magic moment, because I figured she couldn't say no then, right? Because she's been saying no, pretty adamantly, no. So I show up at her house. It's the 10th of December, 1969. And she lived on this hilltop, Twin Peaks, San Francisco. And she had a view from her apartment of the city of San Francisco. My God, a view to die for, right? And she had a friend that she went to college with, and they both worked as buyers for Macy's department stores. So they had nice executive jobs, right? And so they had this nice place. And they've been working on a Christmas tree. I walk in, and they got a 8-foot tree, 7-foot tree, and it's got these old-fashioned, well, it wasn't old-fashioned then, old-fashioned lights where you had one string and you got a light bulb on it, and then the next one. So if you have one loose light bulb,
Right.
every light bulb's out because it stops the whole thing. So they had strung 800 lights together. That was beautiful. But they spent the whole entire day in frustration. They tweaked every bulb. They put new bulbs in, and they were frustrated. They were like, "Oh man, we've been trying this. We can't get the lights to work." I said, "So you tell me you spent 8 hours trying to?" "Yeah, 8 hours. We can't fix that." I go, "I'll fix it for you." And they laughed, right? I said, "No." I said, "You want it fixed?" I said, "Watch this." And I just turned around, looking at them, reaching back to the tree with my hand. I grabbed one bulb at random, one bulb, and just twisted it. And I could tell by their eyes and the light in their eyes, the whole tree lit up, all 800 bulbs.
Wow.
And I'm going. And I got down on one knee, took the ring on, and said, "Now will you marry me?" And she goes, "Anybody that lucky?" I got hitched. So that was the day we got engaged. And I didn't want her to change her mind. So that was the 10th of December. January 3rd, we drove to Reno, got married in the courthouse, came home. I didn't want to have any longer time to think about it. I mean, any rational person would have said no. Anyway, but so when Christmas comes around for me, it's not only a celebration of the birth of Jesus and all that stands for and all the beautiful family and all that stuff. It really was the basis of me creating my own family. It was my first real loving relationship with the new and the direction I wanted to go. And had that not happened, my wife probably would have said no. So miracles happen when you ask for them, when your intention is to get one, and when you need one. And that fulfilled the prophecy that I had when I was little and saw this vision of me marrying my wife, because I knew that couldn't be wrong. So it was a self-fulfilling prophecy, maybe, because I made it happen. But who turned the lights on? Only the divine.
I hope you enjoyed that. Thank you, all of you, for being part of my Beyond community. Wishing you a very Merry Christmas.
Thanks for joining me on Beyond with Heather Tesch. Please add comments and questions you'd like future guests to answer. Also, if you liked what you heard, please hit the thumbs up button and subscribe. That'll help keep this podcast going. You can also go to Beyond with Heather Tesch to look for more episodes.